I wanted to do it tonight, but that's not going to happen.
Okay, and the last one is parent phone calls.
I made one parent phone call yesterday to Nicholas's mom, and I have not made any yet today.
The time we had allotted was the exact time we're meeting right now.
Yeah.
So that would make sense.
But I called Nicholas's mom yesterday. I was on the phone with her for like 15 minutes.
How? Okay.
Because he was cheating on Tuesday.
Okay. So was the phone call productive?
And then he was disrespectful when he earned a level 2 for cheating.
Okay.
I got an apology letter from him today.
There we go. That sounds like a productive phone call.
So she's good.
Good. Let's jump into the lesson. Overall, that close reading was the strongest close reading I've seen in our class. But in particular, what stood out to me was there was such strong uptake of Friday's PD. So you said 3 times, be more precise in your evidence. You just gave me a ton of evidence. Be precise. One time it was amazing. It was with Nicholas. And you said, how does Sacagawea feel? And he goes, she feels excited because in the text it says, Sacagawea, who was with her husband 100 yards ahead, began to dance and show every mark of the exaggerated joy turning around him. And you go, Nicholas, be more precise in your evidence. And he goes, oh, okay. It says she danced and showed extravagant joy. And it was just like a perfect revision. What made it so that you could transfer PD so quickly into like the class today?
Well, we've actually been working on that all year with them. It's something that like they love to, like, it used to be that they were giving us a whole paragraph, and then we got them down to like the sentence, and now we're working on like just the words.
It was like a textbook revision. It was just awesome to see. And then another piece, there were a couple times that you did pronoun reference, but it was one stood out when you said evidence, and it was Dwight.
Like Alex interrupted.
Oh yeah, come in.
Can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Yeah.
Can you just tell me where new school's exit tickets are? I want to put the percentage at the top that we're giving back tomorrow.
They're in 511. Already.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the other piece was when you had evidence Dwight, and he says, this shows they were feeling, and you just interrupted, and you're like, who's they? Just really strong push for precision, like we practiced on Thursday or Friday. So now, thinking about precision, what are all the ways a kid's answer could be imprecise?
Well, one thing that they really struggle with is the use of vocab, like using the precise vocab. That's
Totally.
a huge area. The selection of evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Economy of language.
Mm-hmm.
Just being, like, using vague words.
Pronoun use.
Yeah. It's not even always pronouns. Like, they'll just, like, say, like, things and stuff. And,
Yeah. And so the two others I would put in there, which we didn't talk about on Friday, but I think I heard play out today, were grammar, or something like grammatically incorrect.
What did you hear today?
Zenobia said,
I'm so bad with grammar.
I agree with you, Nicholas, when you said that she felt positive, which was great. Another positive thing is when she says she saw a woman she known.
Oh, she said known?
Yeah. And also when she says she saw, so we'll dive into that. So, like, the format matters of, like, grammar, and then also, like, text reference. So, like, she says when the author's writing something.
So who says what?
Yep. And then finally, just complete sentences when you're referencing a complete thought. So these are going to be pretty specific examples, so I'll give them to you if you're having trouble remembering them. But do you remember any times in today's lesson when there was imprecision that would fall under those lines?
Well, there was a time he said about Dwight where he said...
Oh, yeah, and you pushed for it with they.
I don't remember.
So then there was, it was really interesting. So there were 2 times where it was imprecision with incomplete sentences, and I'll read you what the transcript says. So you said, how could you get ahead? And a student said, you would be walking faster. And then your response was, right, you were walking ahead. Hold on. type that. We can both read it. Right. If you were walking together and then you started walking faster, you would start to get ahead. Then you said, what tribe? A student said the Shoshone. And you said, yes, it's the Shoshone tribe. What did you notice about the student response and then your response?
I rounded up to the complete sentence.
Exactly. So it was like you recognized it was imprecise,
Yeah.
and then your rounding up wasn't in actually what they said, but in the format to make a complete sentence.
Okay.
Okay? Great. So we're going to practice those two things today. So basically, precision for the format of a response. Cool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to use tomorrow's lesson. Please tell me this is right. I know we've had crazy days.
Actually, I have a copy.
Okay, great.
Let's
Let's start with the first questions here before TDQ1. First thing we're going to do is you ask the questions, and I'm going to give a response. Just tell me, like, precise, imprecise. Great?
Do you want me to ask the question?
Yeah, we'll start with why is having our last.
Why is having our last thermometer broken a misfortune?
Having their lost thermometer broken's a misfortune because of the weather.
Not precise.
Good.
Grammar.
Good. Next.
Why did the horse slip? Why did
Because
the horses slip?
because they had lost their footing.
Full sentence. Imprecise. Full sentence.
Good.
What was the result of the horse slipping?
Can you move down to this one? I script. Can you move down to?
Am I on a different one than
No,
you?
you're right. I just wrote imprecise ones for those, not this
Oh.
one. Who is my in this entry?
Yeah. Who was my in this entry?
Lewis.
Precise.
Good. Why is that one word precise?
Because that's what we know him as.
Yes, but why is it?
And that is the that is the answer.
Correct. So it doesn't require a full thought to
Right.
answer, as opposed to the earlier ones, we're just like giving one word or like a phrase.
Right, and that could be like a I guess the way I also need to think about it is like, is this the only reason they should be giving a one word answer, but something that could be like a call and response.
Perfect. Good. Now let's look. What did they eat?
What did they eat?
Colt.
What's a colt? Oh, I mean it's precise, but I would push for what it is.
Totally. Oh, a colt's a baby horse.
Good. Oh, that's supposed to be like, how did you know?
Okay, great. We'll stop there.
Or why? Why did they eat it? Yes.
Well, we'll
why
stop
did
there
they
with
eat it?
just
Okay.
the identify level, and now let's practice question me to get me to the right answer.
This
Okay.
is my.
So we'll start with why is having our last thermometer broken a
Great.
misfortune?
Why is having our last thermometer broken a misfortune?
Because it means that they're not going to have the temperature.
Cause is not a word. Please repeat in a proper sentence.
Because they're not going to have the answer. Because
False.
they're not going to know the temperature.
Full sentence.
It's a problem because now they're not going to know the temperature.
What's a problem?
Having their thermometer broken is a problem because now they're not going to know the full temperature. Good, you got me to the precise place. The only thing I would do is the first question would be like, instead of like, because it's not a word and complete sentence, so you don't have to
Got it.
prompt me for that again. Let's try that one again.
Why is having our last thermometer broken a misfortune?
Because it means they're not going to have the temperature.
Cause is not a word. Use a complete sentence.
It's a problem because they know because now they're not, it's a problem because they're not going to have the temperature.
What's a problem?
Having their thermometer broken is a problem because they're not going to have the temperature. Perfect. So the next one.
Why did the horses slip?
They had lost their footing.
Full sentence.
They had lost their footing.
Who's they?
The horses lost their footing.
Good. Although I guess I want the. Why did they lose their footing?
Yep. Great. Let's do it again. The mountain was like steep.
Put it all together.
So since the mountain was steep, they lost their footing.
Who's they?
The horses.
Put it together.
Since the terrain was steep, the horses lost their footing.
Good.
Good. Just don't let me get away with starting the sentence with so.
Okay. All right. Can we try that one over from
Yeah,
the beginning?
of course.
Why did the horses slip?
They had lost their footing.
Why did they lose their footing?
The mountain was steep.
So hold on. So I'm
Yeah.
Would I start with like who's they, or would I start with pushing
Who's
to the
they?
why?
Get me to a complete thought. Instead of jumping
That's what I was
around,
struggling with. I
get
didn't
me
know
to a
what to
complete
start
thought for the first one,
Okay.
and then move on to the other piece.
Okay, let's do it again.
Great.
Why did the horses slip?
They lost their footing.
Who's they?
The horses.
Why did the horses lose their footing?
Because the mountain was steep.
Put it all together. Complete sentence.
The horses lost their footing because the mountain was steep. That was
Okay.
perfect.
Down to who is mine?
Yep.
Who is mine in this entry?
Lewis.
Good. What did they eat?
Cole?
I guess I should be precise in my questioning.
Go ahead, revise that.
Sorry, what did you say?
So, colt.
Good. What is a colt?
A baby horse.
Good. Using the text feature, why did they eat a colt?
Because they didn't have a lot of food.
Complete sentence, don't use cuz.
They ate colt because they didn't have a lot of food.
But why did they choose the colt over the other horses?
Because no one cared about the colt. The colts were the least valuable ones.
Put the thought together.
They ate colts because they didn't have a lot of food, and the colts were the least important horses.
Good. Keep going.
Yep.
Why was it called Hungry Creek?
Because when they,
These big pronouns
I know.
drive me nuts.
I know it's gonna get to a point where it just makes you crazy, which you're there. It's a good place to be at. Because they, the entire time they were there, they were feeling, so hungry.
Who's they?
Lewis and Clark.
Put it together, complete sentence.
When they were there, Lewis and Clark were feeling really hungry.
Where's there?
Hungry Creek.
Put it together.
So, when they were in Hungry Creek, when Lewis and Clark were in Hungry Creek, they were feeling really hungry.
Try it again without the so and like.
When Lewis and Clark were in Hungry Creek, the two men were feeling very hungry.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good, we'll stop there, but you shouldn't let a kid get away with using hungry for Hungry Creek. It's incredibly obvious.
Oh. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
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 Yeah. You want me to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Okay.
I'll make it fewer levels.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I know there's a lot, but I was glad you heard the so and the like, because I was scared you weren't going to hear those. Good.
Okay. Why was it called Hungry Creek?
It was called that because when they were there, they were really hungry.
Who's they and where is there?
So when Lewis and Clark were in Hungry Creek, they were really hungry.
Use a better vocab and not the word hungry, which is already given to us.
Oh, it was called Hungry Creek because when they were there, they couldn't really find anything to eat.
Yeah.
Good. What's interesting is when we've been practicing, you haven't at all been tempted to repeat what I've been saying.
That was something we were working on?
Well, just in rounding it up. When I was giving not their response, you weren't at all, you didn't even have to stop yourself. It's so interesting.
You know what I think it is? Sometimes I think it's the pressure of time.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I feel like I can take my time, but in class, I feel like I'm constantly looking at the clock, or Raquel's constantly
Right.
and I'm like,
but what's interesting is I don't think repeating the answer. Oh, the repeating to round it up means you're getting out of pushing their answer for precision.
right. So I'm not spending all this time on one question.
Right.
Pushing for this, and then
It's the push now, and then it'll be gone.
I know.
Okay. Let's do, is there another, the last question I was going to do is this one, which I thought could potentially be tricky. Is there another TDQ here that you think will be more challenging for kids to go through? I thought why they give them gifts was going to be hard.
Yeah, that could
Okay.
be difficult.
Great.
Do you want to start from just that question?
Yeah, what do they do? You were precise
did-
in the question.
What did Lewis and Clark do?
They brought them gifts.
Who's they?
Lewis and Clark brought the Native Americans gifts.
Why did Lewis and Clark give gifts?
Because they wanted the Native Americans to like them.
Why? Wait, sorry, what am I doing right now?
So let's
Am I
get
just doing
me to
questioning, or am I doing the precise thing, or am I doing both?
both.
Okay.
But the questioning you should be okay with. Well, the thing to focus on is make sure I'm being precise in my format and my word choice.
Got it. Let's do that again.
Great.
What did Lewis and Clark do?
Lewis and Clark brought them gifts.
Who's them?
The tribe.
It's the boys, I think.
Oh, the boys.
Why did they give them gifts? Why did they give the boys gifts?
Because they like them.
So I feel like if I'm pushing you to precision, I should tell you full sentence, but I think first I need you to get to the right answer.
I agree. Get me to the right answer and then get me to say it correctly.
So I would say evidence.
Well, in the text it says that they brought them gifts, and I think that usually when people give gifts, it means that they like them. And that sounds like something Clark would do. Like, Clark is pretty nice.
How do you know that? Have they met before?
No.
How do you like someone you haven't met? Can you like someone you haven't met?
I mean, possibly. I like Barack Obama. I would go with the route of, like, where in the... I didn't use any text evidence. So I would say evidence, and I would give some... give my thing. Why do they give gifts?
Because they like them.
How do you know?
Because when you give gifts to people...
How do you know from the text?
I guess they were trying to, like, get them to come out and, like, see them.
Good. Evidence?
Yeah. They were hiding, and so this was to get them to come out.
But that's not the full answer. The full answer was shown that they
Right, so I think
right?
you gotta get the... I mean, that's an inferential question. It's not something that's in the text.
That's correct.
Which we said we were throwing in.
Yep.
To get them to analyze. So, like, you'd have to get them to, like, why would they want them to come out?
Well, they want them to come out so that they could, like, work with them.
Right. Why would they want to work with them?
Because they need to build a relationship with the Native Americans.
What type of relationship do they need to build?
A trade one and one where they can, like, trade.
I don't know.
What might the Native Americans, considering, or this might be a connection to the close reading. Let's try it again. We're now not practicing for Format Matters, but this is an important question to get right.
Why did they give gifts?
To show they were nice.
Evidence?
I want to revise my answer.
Go ahead.
To get them to come out.
Do you know what a Mickey Lick cave is? Floating on?
Where they are? What floor they're on?
Yeah.
They're down this hall on the 3rd floor. No? You didn't see them there? I can tell you where you should go ask. You should go ask in the main office downstairs, okay?
Okay.
Great, good luck. That matters. It's ironic. Okay, ready? Let's go with, where did they give
Do you want to ask the question?
I want to be the teacher. Yeah,
Okay. Go ahead.
Why'd they give gifts?
Because they like them.
Evidence.
Well, when you give gifts to people.
Stop. Evidence from the text.
Oh. Well, they're trying to get them to come out of the bush.
How do you know?
Well, they were approaching the boys when they decided to hide because they must have been scared. So.
I want evidence from the text how you know that they were bringing them out. I have the text here. It's fine. Just make up a line.
They put down their guns, and I don't think there is evidence from the text. In the actual text, I don't think there is. It says like.
Oh, it's an inference? Here.
Is it in that? What day is it? This must be the 20th.
Yeah, 20th. Let's just pretend. Let's make up some evidence they came from the bush, because the hard part is going to be the inference to get them they came in peace.
Okay, they came from the bush.
Good.